Hi, this is vlog 3.5 because we've taken all this footage of the things that we've done earlier, and so sometimes we will be showing some videos that actually took place in July or August, and we have gone forward with now posting those videos and editing those videos. And so I've already had vlog 1, vlog 2, vlog 3, and the fourth vlog is supposed to be weeding the basement, and it's going to be really interesting because it was a spooky basement, and it's crawl space. It's not a basement really per se. I'm gonna probably title it weeding the crawl space, but this video is 3.5 because it's the one between those two that I felt needed to happen, because last night something happened that I didn't expect or anticipate, and part of it, I think everything that happened or has been happening, and as the engines start turning and you start pushing towards time is what escalates things, and that conveyor belt just continues to go. It doesn't stop. You can't say, wait, hold on, I have a wedding to attend, or I have this thing happening. You can't stop. You have to keep going and rolling with what you're trying to accomplish. And so so here I am last night, and we watched General Conference for the last 2 days, and there were some really amazing announcements that happened, and I think just everything just exploded, and I hit a wall. And I didn't think I would, but what happened is I had our family in town, and I love this house. I've always thought this is just the most perfect, most charming house. And once we get it fixed up, it's going to just be ideal. It's going to be great. But in the back of my mind and in just the depth of my heart, I knew that there was always an issue with not being able to have enough rooms for my family that came in town. My kids are getting married. They're leaving, flying the coop, and now whenever they come in town, in the past we've been able to have a bedroom for them and be able to host them, and we've loved to have them around us. And I thought, well, with a small house, it's not a big deal, right? We can maybe put them up in a hotel, but that's not always feasible, because the hotels are further away and they cost money. They're so unpersonable, and the whole reason they're coming is to be with us. And so there's just something about having them in the home versus having them put up in a hotel and come see us once in a while. And because it doesn't really happen, it's something neat and special about having your meals together, but having those rooms. I mean, one of my sons, he and his wife actually stayed in this room, which on the floor in sleeping bags, because the air mattress was so uncomfortable in the living room, and there wasn't any privacy. And it was then that it just hit me like a dagger, like, ugh, that I don't have the spaces in this house. And I've been torn, because as we bought this house, we thought, well, maybe we'll be able to fulfill our needs, and with the needs of the family just fine, and it's worked. It's been just fine. It's been a cozy home. The kitchen table fits real nice and snug, and as long as we maneuver, do our little choreography around the table, we're okay. And we don't have an extra room I mean, when we watch a movie, it's really kind of tight. If Ammon has his friends over, it's a little bit tight, but we were managing just fine. But then last night, it just tore me apart, and I'll try not to get emotional about it, but I think you start to realize when you're put to the test what your heart really wants, what you personally want. And for me, I feel like this house has defined that for me, or helped point out to me what my heart really wants. And so I feel like even though we love this house, that it's not going to fulfill the needs that we have. I mean, we have Christmas coming up, and Christmas is a time when we have our family come every other year, and they have coordinated, so this is the year they're all coming. And we can't even put one family in the house, let alone two families that are coming, two of my kids. And so my heart was just wrecked, and we did determine that maybe we can rent an Airbnb and have our family gathering together for that period of time. I think that'll be good, because we'll be able to be there, have the festivities there at the same place, and do the things that we've done in the past. We have a special dinner, we have special parties, we have gift opening, we wake up Christmas morning and spend the whole time together. And at this point of our lives, it works because our children are still young and have young families and want to participate with the gift opening. As their kids get older and they get more children, they're going to want to just have a visit from grandma and grandpa maybe. But right now, this is what we're doing, and this is how we've been doing it, and now our house doesn't accommodate that, and I hit a wall last night, and I ended up with this huge amount of anxiety because there's a lot of other things that just seem to bombard me. And without going into detail on all the personal things that just bombarded me, I felt very pounded, and I felt very grateful for General Conference, though, because all the talks, try not to get emotional, all the talks seem to focus on strengthening us. And then who would know that shortly after I would feel this bombarding, because I feel like that the adversary is just working so hard to discourage us from our goals, and yet the Lord is helping us to focus on our goals and see what really causes us joy. Yeah, the theme was about joy and happiness, and I just couldn't let today go without sharing those feelings. Because regardless of how you feel and the anxiety that you're getting, and if you feel so bombarded and so alone at times, you can always turn to God. And although sometimes I feel like I'm talking into an empty room, and it's not because He's not there, but it's just how I feel at that time. And if I just wait, then I will see that He was always there, always by my side. And I could always look to Him for answers. And that's what happened last night. I just did a lot of soul searching and pondering and thinking about the messages that we're giving at General Conference. And realizing that, the answers started to unfold for me. I started to realize how to solve each problem one at a time, and for now. And then in the long run, how to make changes so that we don't run into these walls again. And part of it is that as we've been going along and winter has been coming, winter's coming, and it's not going to stop. It's just on its way, and so the cold weather is coming, and we have to get the house ready for that, whether we're ready or not. And so we're trying really hard to weatherize and winterize the home, and get the roof finished and the windows taken care of and the windowsills, and we've been going so fast that we haven't even filmed some of it. We'll just have to film the after and show the before pictures, but we've been just trying to go so fast, but sometimes it's become scattered, where we'll work on one project, and Keith will work on this project, and I'll work on this one, and we're kind of just scattered, and then he'll work on another one, and then all of a sudden we have like 3 different projects opened up, and the house is becoming so disorganized, and I can't find things in it. I can't function in the laundry room because we're trying to do that too. And so it just all came to a head, and I just hit the wall, because I just felt like I just don't have order. And so last night, one of the answers that came for me for that particular trial that I was experiencing, and that stress and the anxiety, was to put, and in every single sense, was just put my life in order, organize the projects, list what needs to happen, and schedule a time for them to happen. I mean, it's the same principle that I've been teaching with all these other organizing, which I'll be posting eventually, these different vlogs that I've done in the past, but I'm still rolling what footage we have. And I just wanted to share that, though, because I'm sure that there are others who are struggling, perhaps with hitting the wall when you're going on a project, and all of a sudden you just, all these things start to bombard you, that need to get done, and things seem to be in disarray, or you're worried about finances, you're worried about your children and how they're doing in school, because you've got some still in high school and some still in college, and maybe you have some that are still in elementary school, and you're wondering how things are going to work out with that, with all the changes in the world that are happening, and I think that the changes that are happening for General Conference, changes that are happening in our church system, not the laws are, and the commandments, and the things that our church is based upon, does not change. God does not change. God is still God. They're not going to make a change and say, oh, guess what? All of a sudden we're going to make this little statue that's going to be our God. Things are not going to change in that sense, but the program can change to help us to be able to worship God, as the changes in the world are just whizzing past us so fast. I feel like it's diesels. I feel like I'm standing in the middle of a road, and these diesels are coming on each side of me, and just I'm on the median, and the winds are just rushing by of these big diesels, and I feel like that's the world. And but I know that Heavenly Father is so aware of us that He's warning us and giving us ideas, and helping turn us to joy, which is turning to God and turning to joy, and forsaking the world, because that's what's going to cause us such strife and struggle and frustration and disappointment and discouragement. And that we need to focus on what they're doing. They're making the changes, not to keep up with the world and to even out with the world and to make sense of the world, but to help us to be able to, in spite of the world, still continue to focus towards returning one day to our Father in heaven. We're here on this earth to receive these experiences and to prove ourselves, in the sense that maybe it's to prove to ourselves what we want, what level of glory we want to have after we return to Him. We are here on this earth, and we are here for a reason. We're not just here for any insignificant reason that we just happen to be here. We are here for a purpose, and we were meant to be here to discover who we are, to remember God, and to see where we want to fit in the family. He has several different degrees of glory after we die that we can accept, that we can say, do we want to become like Him, and or do we want to not, and just live life eternally at this level? and or do we want to be like him and our Heavenly Father and our Heavenly Mother? Do we want to be heavenly parents and have worlds and create? Some people tell me they don't want that responsibility, and Heavenly Father respects that. He respects that because he respects our free agency. He respects our hearts, our desires, and what we want. He honestly wants us to return to him and be able to be in his presence and be able to receive all the blessings that he has for us. But he will allow us to choose, and that's pretty awesome. And so for us to be able to continue on that road without being discouraged and having all the just being bombarded with the adversary, and certainly as I hit that wall, I actually felt, I didn't feel like I was losing my faith, but I felt like fear was encroaching in on my faith. It was crowding it out. And I'm like, just give me some elbow space. Let me have my, what my faith is strong. But regardless of how strong your faith is, fear is powerful. And you have to be alert and be on guard for what fear can do, and and even anger and hatred. Those type of things can really impair your faith. And so I just felt like I wanted to share this, and I'm going to be watching those conferences over and over again because I feel like if anything, they really bolster my faith. They strengthen my faith. Kneeling down and praying and pleading with the Lord. There were so many things that they showed us how to do and how to deal with it, with trials and the perspective we could have and the attitudes we could have that would help us to have joy in spite of our trials, in spite of the hardships, in spite of the walls that we hit, in spite of the struggles and strifes. And I can honestly say this morning I woke up feeling full of hope and that faith just going strong, that we need to turn towards that and shed the fear or do whatever we need to do to trust in the Lord rather than trust in fear and let fear take over. And so it's amazing to me though, because I hadn't counted on that. I hadn't expected that. But it's also amazing to me that what was already put into place for me to fall onto when I just felt like I fell, there was these cushions there to catch me, and before I even hit this wall. So I'm just grateful for that, and I hope that this helps if you ever feel like you're entering into the fear zone, that don't let it affect your faith zone. I've given it some thought today and been thinking a lot over the past few days that I would rather do one vlog a week and instead of doing 3, because sometimes I feel like I'm really rushed in trying to hurry and get the vlog out, that I may not be as effective in putting everything together, or it ends up getting posted late because it's like midnight by the time I finish because it takes a long time to comb through the videos. We have a lot of videos, and one of the things I need to do is organize the videos into categories of what each project was that we've been working on in the past, and so it's going to take a little bit of time, but I think I feel much better about doing one vlog a week. We'll try to post it about Wednesday, and so hopefully every Wednesday morning we'll have a new vlog every week so that we can keep you updated on the progress of renovating our house on Cherry Lane. I just thought of a way we could all fit in this house for Christmas.